Welcome to Battle Axe. I'm Joey the Jaw Danya alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. As always, we're coming to you from the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. We're here to bring you all of the action from week number 3 of this 7-week regular season before our double elimination postseason tournament. If you're new to the program, let's explain the rules of Battle Axe. As you see those arrows pointing to the rings, the outermost ring is worth 1, going inward 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the bullseye, that red dot, is worth 6 points. Those small blue dots on the outermost ring, those are worth 8 points. That's for a kill shot. A player can go for a kill shot at any point throughout the match, but if they miss the kill shot, they get nothing. Bobby, here's what everyone's competing for.
This is what everyone's competing for, Joey, and of course it's always a tremendous honor to be a Battle Axe champion, but the winner of this year's league will get a special prize and get to take home this belt and all of its glory.
Yeah, this is a thing of beauty.
Yes, Joey, it is custom made, and it's the first time we're going to be bestowing it to a champion, so excited to see how this league's going to shape up and who's going to take this thing home.
We are set to go here in week number 3, but before we get things started, let's take a look at the standings after 2 weeks of competition. Surprise, surprise, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw is leading the way. He's a perfect 8-0, averaging more than 54 points per game. Behind Bradshaw, it's Casey Nines, Cody Yoakum, Eric Schizel, Hannah Brussell, Brandon Feenstra, Everett Schuer, Stephanie Prine, Gina Feenstra, and Haley Straight, rounding out the top 10. Well, we are set to go here in week number 3. Our first matchup is a dandy. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw against Eric the Scope Schizel. 2 former Battle Axe champions going head-to-head, but these champions have never won the belt.
They've never won the belt, and they're chasing it right now. So Eric coming in at 5-3, Matt coming in at a perfect 8-0. It's a great matchup to get the night started.
And as sharp as those pants are for Matt Bradshaw, imagine how much better they would be with a belt around him.
With a belt around him, exactly. There's no belt loops in his pants, but I think he can get it done.
Matt the Magic Man rocking some ramen noodle chicken flavor pants today.
Yeah, chicken flavored, so that's always the best one.
Absolutely. Eric the Scope Schizel out to the early lead, a rare 4 from Matt Bradshaw.
Yep, and as you can see, Matt just getting into his routine. Just kind of focusing on the board. We all know Matt really doesn't worry about his opponent. He's always focused on that board, and a nice bullseye there for Matt on his second throw.
Right on cue. Meanwhile, Schizel throws a 4, and you may have noticed Schizel throwing with his left hand. He had been throwing with his right hand. That's his favored hand in the first couple weeks of the season. Had an injury last season to his left hand. Through the entire season with the left hand. Did pretty well with it.
Yeah, yes,
surprisingly well, but now he's had some irritation in that right hand. He's going back to the left hand.
Yeah, it looks like Eric came back a little too soon with his right hand, so he's making the adjustment on the fly to go back to his left hand. And as you can see there, a 3. So definitely a difficult decision for Eric to make, but something he physically felt like he had to do.
Long term, no doubt, that's what is best for the throwing arm of Eric Schizel. Meanwhile, Matt Bradshaw, back-to-back bullseyes, a chance here at a unicorn.
Chance at the unicorn. Matt saw the belt before the night started and decided to amp up his game even more, Joey. But as you can see, yeah, just Eric is off with his throw there. There's a 3, another 3 there, and that's just not going to get it done versus a competitor such as Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw.
The Magic Man is locked in right now, a unicorn. 3 straight bullseyes to take a commanding lead, 22-15.
Well, and as we said earlier, Joey, Eric's making this adjustment on the fly. So there's an hour of practice time before the league starts. So when he makes this adjustment, he's, got a very short window of time to actually kind of hone this thing in. So he's going to be doing a lot of this on the fly, a lot of it in game. So we'll see how he plays out the rest of the night. But he's just trying to get his throw locked in.
Yeah, certainly an adjustment he would like to make earlier rather than later. Now that it's just week 3, he's got plenty of time to get used to throwing with that left hand again before the postseason.
Yeah, and it's, can't be said enough, Joey, that it's really so impressive that he can throw with both hands. I mean, that's something that I don't think a lot of competitors can do, or a lot of competitors even want to think about doing. So kudos to him for even making this a game versus Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. But again, Matt's just focused on that board, correcting his throw really nicely. There's Eric getting closer and closer to that 5 and 6 ring.
5, Matt.
So after a unicorn, Matt Bradshaw throws 3 straight 5s. He's got a 10-point lead, 3 throws to go. Eric Schizel trying to get into that 5 and 6 ring.
Well, this is probably good for Eric, actually, just to focus on that board. He knows he's probably not going to come away with the W on this this match here, but he's got to just focus up on getting closer and closer to that 5 and 6 ring. And as you can see from his third throw on, he's actually getting closer and closer to that ring. So, but Matt with a nice bullseye there for a nice score of 43 with 2 throws to go.
Matt Bradshaw, the only competitor in this league averaging more than 50 points per game. No doubt he is the clear-cut favorite to bring home the belt.
It's a good throw there by Eric. A nice flush bullseye with his left hand there. But again, of course, Matt matches him, and then he can't gain any ground.
All right, last throw. Matt is up by
And as we've seen a couple times in this league, even though Matt Bradshaw is the clear-cut favorite, there's plenty of competitors who can take that belt from him.
Absolutely. We've seen it time and time again during the Week 8 tournament. I mean, it's win or go home.
There's a great throw from Eric the Scope Schizel.
5, Eric. All right.
So Schizel really finished up nicely here, but it's
Eric,
Matt
54
Bradshaw
Matt.
getting the win. An impressive round of 54 to get the W.
Yeah, so Matt with a nice score of 54 to up his record to 9-0. Just a 1-4 to start off the match, but 6s and 5s for the rest of the throws. Eric, of course, throwing with his left hand, kind of gotten a little bit of a 3 right there on his 3rd and 4th throw, but nice job to make the adjustments on the fly as we saw, those 4s kind of were creeping back into that 5 and 6 ring, and they finally got there on the 9th and 10th throw for an impressive score of 42.
Yeah, no doubt Eric Schizel will just get better and better throughout the season as he continues to adjust to throwing with the left hand. Let's throw it down to Schizel right now to get his thoughts on his throwing arm adjustments.
I thought I could get away with throwing right-handed with the elbow and the injury and everything, but it was just too soon. So I'm feeling a little pain in the elbow. I'm not going to pursue that throw. I'm going to give it some more time, continue just to work on it with weights and training and stretching, and just kind of go back to my left hand. And it's just something I don't want to do. I know I can perform way better with my right, and it's just because I have to wait and just kind of wait it out till I'm ready to go again. It's really frustrating. So you can see I get a little frustrated in the game when things aren't going well and I'm putting bad numbers on the board. I know I can throw better than that.
Eric the Scope Schizel, eager to get back to throwing with the right hand, but in the meantime, he's going to do all he can with that left hand. Time now for our next matchup. Stephanie Prine, ready to take on Beth Jenn, throwing up the deuces. Here we go. Let's get it on, Prine and Jenn.
Yes, Stephanie Prine coming in at 4-4. Beth at 0-8, but throwing up some impressive numbers here to start.
2, Beth, 3, Stephanie.
So a 3 for Stephanie Prine to take the early 1-point lead over Beth Jenn.
Yeah, and as we've said in episodes past, for these new players in this league, they're just working on trying to hone in their throw. I mean, a lot of these are new throws for all these competitors, but, they're living in the 3 and 4 ring. Now they're going to try to live in the 5 and 6 ring, and kind of make those adjustments on the fly. So Stephanie is doing a really nice job this season of kind of narrowing in that throw to that 5 and 6 ring.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of improvement from Stephanie Prine throughout her Battle Axe career. She's got an early 2-point lead over Beth Jenn, looking to build on it here.
That was a really nice release point there by Beth. A nice 5 there to throw up onto the board. But, yeah, just maintaining that muscle memory, that consistent throw, Joey.
So Beth Jenn gets within a point now after 3 throws. Best throw of the day. See if she can keep it going. Nice throw right there. That looks like a 5.
4, Beth, 4,
But
Stephanie.
it just misses that 5 ring. It's a 4. So it remains a 1-point lead for Prine.
All right.
Yep,
fifth
so that
row,
blade
Stephanie's
has to be
up by
showing
1
through on both
point.
sides of that axe. So if you go up and look there, it has to be popping through on the 5 ring. So hitting a little bit too much of that black, and it was a 4. But again, holding onto that axe just a little bit too long is Beth
3,
Jenn. And
Stephanie. Sorry,
that
3,
could be a
Beth,
5 there for Stephanie.
5, Stephanie.
And it is.
So best throw of the day for Stephanie Prine to extend her lead to 3 after the first half. Prine and Jenn switch sides and get set for the second half. Well, we know Jenn is capable of good throws. The key will be her consistency.
As with any competitor, Joey, that is the case. And but down by 3 with 4 throws to go, definitely a manageable position to be in.
So it remains a 3-point game. 4 throws to go now.
There's a nice release
Nice
point there.
throw from Jenn.
4,
just
Beth.
missing a 5 to keep it a 3-point game.
Yeah, so again, and we've talked about this in other matches as well, Joey. It's important for, Stephanie in her position that she's in. She's up by 3. She's fine with trading points. She wants to add points to it, but she cannot let Beth back into this game. So it's something that she has to keep
4,
working on.
Stephanie,
And
5, Beth.
Well, it looks like Jen's going to get a little closer on this one. A 5 and a 3 from Prine. So just like that,
Wow.
we've got a 1-point game.
that was a very important ruling. I thought that was a 4 there. So a 2-point swing here. Beth down by 1 with 2 throws to go.
Another
nice
good throw.
Oh, that axe is getting away from Stephanie there.
All right, 5, Beth.
Jenny's got to get. I think that's a 3, Joey.
This is going to be a very important ruling.
3, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And it is. You're right, Bobby. It's a 3. So just like that, a 3-point deficit becomes a 1-point
last
lead for
throw.
Beth
Beth is
Jenn.
up by
1
1.
throw to go. Now Prine is going to need a little help and a good throw.
Yeah, Stephanie's got to have a short memory with her last throws. She left the door open, did Beth Jenn.
44.
Stephanie unable to capitalize on it, so.
All right, good game.
What a game. Beth
It's
Jenn
30 to
comes
39.
back to get the win, 39 to 38, Bobby.
Well, what can you say? Beth Jenn coming out with her first victory of the season, 39 to 38 over Stephanie Prine. Nice job to recover from that first and second throw there of the 2 and the 3 to really put up some consistent 4s and 5s. And really came down to Stephanie leaving that door open for Beth Jenn to come in on the 8th and 9th throw. And kudos to Beth for a couple 5s there to really turn the tide of this game and trade points with her on the 10th throw to maintain the victory.
Yeah, we talked about consistency, and that's exactly what Beth Jenn did to deliver her first win of the season. Let's throw it down to an interview now with Beth for more on her throwing routine.
So I started off just kind of hacking it up there, and now I'm making sure my foot and my hip, my shoulder, elbow, wrist, everything's nice and lined up because I have this tendency to pull my elbow out and then it wobbles, and that's why it was dropping all the time. So kind of fixed that, and now it's sticking more consistently.
Beth Jenn getting into a rhythm and getting her first win. We'll be right back with more Battle Axe here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa to bring you all of this Week 3 action. We just saw Stephanie Prine come up 1 point short against Beth Jenn, but Stephanie's ready to get right back out there and battle once again. She's got a new axe this year. Here's Prine on her new weapon.
Well, I got a new axe, so I got my hands on one of the first generation Ace of Spades. So I don't know. I threw my bad axe my first game, and then I switched to my new ace the next couple. So I don't know. I like the switch. I like it. I think maybe it's my axe.
Well, Stephanie Prine with a new weapon, Bobby, an ace up her sleeve.
Ace up her sleeve, and if it feels comfortable, Joey, you got to keep using it, right?
Rest in peace to the pink lady, the axe she used to throw with. We're set to go with our next match. Cody Yoakum taking on Stephanie Prine and her new axe. She'll touch the tip of that axe with Cody Yoakum's axe and get set to go here.
Yep, Stephanie coming in at 4 and 5, falling to Beth Jenn earlier in the episode, and Cody coming in at 5 and 3. Oh,
Ooh,
wow. And
4, Stephanie.
just a devastating start here for Cody Yoakum. So a rare drop, Joey, and Stephanie has a 4-point lead.
yeah, you almost never see that from Cody Yoakum.
It's very surprising. And you see Cody try to just laugh it off here and focus on his second throw.
You would assume he'll be able to put this one in the rearview mirror quickly.
Four,
That one a little
Stephanie.
wobbly as well for Cody Yoakum.
Yeah, maybe something up with that board. Maybe it's not as wet as it needs to be, but a 4 there for Cody. Lucky it's stuck in the board there, so Stephanie still with the 4-point lead going into the third throw. That new axe looks like it's coming in handy. A nice throw there. Nice confident throw there by Stephanie.
5, Stephanie. Bullseye,
Well,
Cody.
Cody Yoakum answers nicely with a bullseye. It's still a 3-point lead for Stephanie Prine.
Well, yeah, and just like with Stephanie's match with Beth Jenn, so she was in the lead. She really, just has to keep that pedal to the metal, keep putting positive points on the board, trading points with Cody if that's what needs be.
Bye,
But
Cody.
a 5, and it looks like a 4 there for Stephanie. So she's leaving that door open for Cody to come back in.
Fifth throw, Cody.
Even
or
with
Stephanie
that
is
drop
up
on the
by
first
2.
throw there for Cody.
Sorry, Cody.
So both players just focusing up on the board here. Looks
Another
like
good throw there from Prine.
4 Cody, 4 Stephanie.
so it's a 4 there for Stephanie. The axe wasn't popping through on both sides of the board there, so it was hitting a little bit of that black ring. But they'll switch sides, 21-19. Stephanie Prine with a 2-point lead going into the turn. Ooh.
Ooh, well, that one barely stuck in for
Stephanie.
Prine. You got to wonder
Wow.
what's going on that side of the board, because obviously Cody Yoakum had some issues, and now that they've switched sides, we'll see how that changes the pace of this game.
Yeah, Stephanie, lucky that axe stuck in the board there. And Cody with a nice throw there to make it a 1-point lead here for Stephanie. But, yeah, definitely something that needs to be addressed in between this match. There's something going on with that board on the left-hand
5
side.
Cody.
So just like that, we are all tied up now at 29, 3 throws to go.
Yep, so again, this is the thing Stephanie dealt with Beth Jenn. Now she's fortunate to have some throws here to kind of make up for giving up the lead here. But 29-29 going into the 7th throw. And that looks like a 4 there,
4?
and a 4 there for Cody as well.
Yoakum just missing a 5. It remains a tied game, only 2 throws to go.
No.
We've got a nail biter.
Yep, so again, both players just focusing up on that board. Stephanie with that new axe, probably still trying to, hone it in and everything like that, but throwing a really good game.
4 Stephanie.
Well, there's a big shot from Cody Yoakum. It
Yep.
might be a bullseye, and it is.
Wow.
Sealed for you.
So just ice in his veins, Cody Yoakum with a
All
nice
right.
bullseye there to
Last
take a
throw,
2-point
Cody's
lead
up by 2.
going into the 10th row. Still room, though, for Stephanie to come back here. Cody's throwing a number of 4s in this game.
Stephanie Pride focusing in. She knows she needs a big throw right here.
And a couple of 4s, so trading the points there.
All right, 41 Stephanie, 43
So Cody Yoakum, after a drop on his first throw, he comes back to get the win, 43-41.
Yeah, so Stephanie unfortunately could not capitalize on Cody's drop to start off the game, so she falls to 4 and 6, but a nice score of 41. And Cody, really good job. What can you say? Overcoming that drop on the first throw to put up a nice score of 43. A couple of 6s in there, a little maybe too many 4s there for Cody's liking, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, not exactly the kind of round Cody Yoakum is accustomed to, but he responded nicely after that fall on the first throw. All these players, they've got to have short memories. Hannah Brussell, a player who knows that very well. Let's throw it down to Hannah right now to talk about living with a short memory.
For me, dwelling on it just makes my next game not so good. And so if I keep in the mindset of, okay, I had a terrible game, if it stays there, then I don't do as well the next game. So I take every game as its own and just work harder to be better than the previous.
Hannah Brussell ready to go here in week 3, but before we see her in action, let's throw it down to a newcomer in this league, Beth Jenn. Here's her thoughts on joining the Battle Axe family.
It's been awesome. They're fantastic down here. Everybody wants everybody to do well week in, week out. So I'm getting pointers and feedback after each throw, even during the match. Just little things that I can do in the match, and then we come out and practice, and everybody's been super helpful, and it's just a great environment.
A great environment, great people here in the Battle Axe family, Robbie.
Absolutely. It's an axe family. It's an axe community, so a lot of supportive people here, and it's just a wonderful environment.
Glad to be a part of it. We're ready to go here for our next matchup of the day. Hannah Brussell taking on Beth Jenn.
So Beth Jenn coming off her first victory of the season. Hannah's just putting together a tremendous season to start. You can see she's 5-3, putting up some really impressive numbers, but Beth Jenn's got the victory bug, so we'll see how it goes.
5 Beth, bullseye
Ooh,
Hannah.
What a
great
start for
throw.
these ladies. A bullseye for Brussell and a 5 for Jenn.
Yeah, and that's the thing, so we've talked about the progression of players from when they start this league, Joey, to when they, have some leagues under their belt and everything like that. Hannah just made this tremendous leap of being more consistent with her 5s and 6s, eliminating those drops. Of course, as I say that, she's got 3 there, but really overall doing a great job of honing in that 5 and 6 ring.
Indeed, but there's a couple 3s from Brussell and Jenn. It remains a 1-point lead for Hannah Brussell.
Nice throw there by Beth. It looks like a 4.
4 Beth.
Ooh, and that's very close to a 5 there for Hannah. We'll have to see if it's popping through on the right-hand side of that blade.
5 Hannah.
And it is a 5. So nice throw there.
So Hannah Brussell extends the lead to 2. Brussell coming in with a record of 5-3 on the season.
Yeah, that's another thing for anyone joining, the show now. These records, they really it's secondary to the points put on the board, So Beth coming in at 1-8 and Hannah at 5-3. I mean, both players are putting up consistent good numbers and everything like that. So Beth is around the 40 average, and Hannah's averaging around 46. So, those are a couple throws. That's one throw, really, Joey. So a drop can mean a lot, and it's really anyone's game.
Yeah, and it's ultimately the points that will determine the field for the postseason double elimination tournament.
Yep, so you can see there are a couple 4s, but going into the turn, so a 2-point lead for Hannah. Good position for Beth to be in here. Looks like a 4 there.
4 and 4.
Ooh, and that was dangerously close to being a 3 there for Hannah. The top part of that blade popping through on the 4 ring.
But with 4 throws to go and a 2-point lead, Brussell, happy feet, happy to trade points.
Happy feet is definitely happy to trade points here, and there's a 4 there.
4 and 4.
And another 4. So models of consistency are these two ladies here. 4 straight 4s for both players. I don't think we've ever seen that, Joey.
I don't know. We'd have to check in with our Battle Axe statisticians, but
We have to go back and look at the tape.
yeah.
And of course, there, another 4. I'm going to guess a 4.
4 and
Ooh,
4.
that's close. Close to
Wow.
a 5.
You called it, Bobby. So it's a 2-point game still. Brussell clinging to that lead. We'll see if she can close it out here on the final 2 throws.
Now the question comes, Joey. When does the streak end? That's
Not there.
Another 4. Oh,
4
and
and
of
4?
course another 4.
Wow.
So 6 straight 4s for both
All right,
competitors.
last
Wow,
throw,
it's truly
Hannah's
something
only 2.
we've never seen this before. I know it. I would have remembered, Joey.
I don't think we've ever seen it be 4.
Oh,
See
finally.
what I did there?
w-
Okay. I think the
I
streak
see.
is over. Yeah, the
Nice.
streak is
Beth.
definitely over.
Bullseye, Hannah.
A
Streak.
bullseye for Brussell to put a
All
bow
right,
and an
39,
exclamation
Beth,
point on
44,
this
Hannah.
one. Hannah Brussell gets the 5-point win over Beth Jenn.
Just an absolute model of consistency. It is the name of the game, and that's exactly what these two competitors did. Hannah improves to 6-3. Beth falls to 1-9, but a really nice score of 39. Hannah with a nice score of 44, bookending those multiple 4s with those couple of 6s. So a really nice job.
Yeah, those bullseyes ultimately making the big difference in this one for Hannah Brussell. This was a fun one to watch. It was remarkable to see 6 straight 4s
Yeah.
from both competitors. Very high consistency out of Jenn and Brussell in this one.
Yeah, Joey, it just goes to show that anyone can beat anybody in this league, and we've had some great matches tonight and excited for some more.
All right, we've still got much more action to bring you here on Battle Axe. We'll be right back here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm Joey the Jaw Danya alongside my partner in crime, Bobby the Blade Bradford. Bobby, we've seen some good action thus far, and we've got a lot more still to come. A newcomer in this league, Everett Shure, is ready to go here in week 3. Here's Everett on perfecting his throw.
Yeah, I think it's important. If you're a little bit off, I feel like I'm still in the process where I'm learning everything, so I'm trying to find my groove and exactly how I want to be able to throw, but I haven't gotten to that point where I'm like Bradshaw and I can just, every throw is the same every time, so I'm still trying to get to that level, and once I find that technique that I'm able to be consistent in, then we'll go from there.
Everett Shure with the utmost respect for Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. Sometimes it looks like Matt can just throw bullseyes every single time, but he's always tweaking his game, always working on that throw. Here's Bradshaw.
Tonight I'm trying to keep my elbow a little bit closer to my body and then trying to follow through, so I think I'm just about there. It's taken me almost a year and a half to find it, but I think I might have found it, so now it's just trying to dial that in. And again, with when you get to this type of level of competition, when you're off just a little bit means a lot downrange. So trying to find those little micro adjustments and getting that dialed in is what we're trying to look for, and that's what I've been doing at least for the first 3 weeks. So I'm still tinkering a little bit.
Just relentless work ethic from Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, the former Battle Axe champion, looking to bring home another championship and the belt this year. Everett Shure ready to go here in week 3. He's going to try and take down the Magic Man, Matt Bradshaw.
The pursuit of perfection is what journey Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw is on. Coming in at 9-0. Everett has a giant mountain to climb going up against him, but coming in at 4-4.
We're underway. That looks like a 4 from Shure. Bradshaw taking his time here on his first throw, and wow, right on the money there, a bullseye for the Magic Man.
Yeah, whatever tweaks and adjustment Matt's been focusing on tonight seem to be playing out just fine. There's a nice, an authoritative 6 there to start the match. But Everett's done a great job of starting off this league, putting up some nice scores. We've seen him be really aggressive with the kill shot, which is something I think is going to be very beneficial come tournament time.
And it's a lot of fun to watch, no doubt. Another bullseye from Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. He'll have a shot at a unicorn here on his 3rd throw. We saw him throw a unicorn earlier today.
We did, yep. And Everett just holding on to that axis a little bit too much, trying to find that release point. So a 3 there. So he's got some work to do with the Magic Man, but a nice throw there to recover. That could be a 5 with the blade popping through on the bottom side there.
So a couple of 5s from Bradshaw and Shure to keep it a 5-point lead for the Magic Man.
Yep, and as we can see with Matt, Matt has a really strict routine that he does. Every time he gets the axe from the board, he comes back and does the same thing. That's something that all these players have to learn how to adopt, So nice throw there by Everett. Getting into that throw, so Everett just throwing a bullseye there.
Bullseye, Matt. Sorry.
It looks like we're getting an adjustment there for Matt's score, but getting used to throwing that, that consistent good throw, Joey, is something that every competitor has to work on.
Matt's up by 5.
So Bradshaw with his 3rd bullseye of the match. Shure with his 1st. As we close out the first half of this one, another good throw there from Shure and a better throw from the Magic Man. That one right on the money as well. His 4th bullseye in 5 throws. He's got a 6-point lead after the first half.
Yeah, really nice throw there by Everett and by Matt. Switching sides here. Still manageable, still manageable for Everett. So he's at least holding his own going into this 6th throw.
And as you said, we've seen him go for a devastating drop there for Everett Shure. Can't do that against anyone in this league,
right?
Let alone the Magic Man. As I was saying earlier, we've seen Everett Shure go for kill shots a lot this season. We'll see if he starts getting very aggressive here and goes for one at some point.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of a little bit to what Hannah was talking about in her interview. You have to have a short memory. You have to be able to nice throw there. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Bullseye and bullseye.
So forget about that drop. Focus on that board, and a great response.
Another bullseye for the Magic Man, his 5th of the match. He's got a 10-point lead with 3 throws to go.
So Matt, of course, just focus on that board, working on those slight little adjustments. Looks like a 4 there for Everett and a 4 there for Matt, so not popping through on the 5, and you can see Matt kind of shaking his head a little bit. Frustrated he couldn't get that 2nd bullseye.
Yeah, those 4s are very rare for Bradshaw, and you can always see the frustration when he throws one.
You can see Everett's really not worried about Matt over there. Nice authoritative throw there for a 5. And Matt not giving up an inch. Again, something we've talked about in other previous matches, Joey. When you have, the lead, you want to keep at least trading points or piling on if you can. So Matt's a master at that.
Matt always keeping his foot on the gas.
And I believe we saw Everett call for the kill shot here. And he's off the mark.
5, Matt. 0, Everett.
So Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw improving to 10-0. He takes down Everett Shure 53-38.
So 53-38. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw improves to 10-0. Everett, I don't think that 38 is really reflective of how well he was throwing in this game. That unfortunate drop in the 6th throw and then the attempted kill shot on the 10th really had an effect on the overall score.
No doubt, Everett Shure going for the kill shot in his 10th and final throw. He's been going for kill shots in almost every match we've seen him in. He's going to be a dangerous player in the postseason. Matt Bradshaw now a perfect 10-0 with an impressive score once again of 53. Time now for our next competitor. It's a guy we know very well in Battle Axe, Eric Schizel. Here he is about throwing with his left hand now.
With my throw, I think it's just going to take time. I mean, I spent a lot of time throwing right-handed before we even started league, before I even opened this business. I was throwing, daily. So it's just going to take that kind of time under my belt to get repetition going. It's just time after time, just checking everything I do from walking up to the line to pulling back, following through, that kind of thing, just focusing on that red bullseye. So again, just going to take repetition, practice. That's all it is.
Repetition, hopefully leading to some consistency for Eric the Scope Schizel. We saw that last season, and he's looking to do it again here this season. Eric the Scope Schizel ready to take on Hannah Happy Feet Brussell.
So much to Eric's point in his interview, I mean, all of this is repetition. All this is the constant practice that you put in, and it's really reflective in these two players. As you can see, the improvement that both players have made. Eric, a past champion. Hannah, definitely a competitor to be looking out for come tournament time. Someone that could definitely make some waves. So
this should be a good one. Brussell coming in with a record of 6-3. Eric the Scope Schizel 5-4. Nice throw there from Happy Feet. It's a bullseye for Brussell.
Yeah, so a nice start here for Hannah, coming in at 6-3. Eric at 5-4. Eric, as we saw in his first matchup, was honing in that 5 and 6 ring with the left hand. So you saw him get off in that little bit of a 3 rut there. So something he's looking to put behind him in his next matchup.
Yeah, we saw a round of 42 from Eric Schizel earlier today in a loss to Matt Bradshaw. Hannah Brussell had a round of 44 for a win over Beth Jenn.
So the act getting away from Hannah just a little bit, so this thing's all tied up going into the third throw. But again, Eric's got to be really happy with that consistent 5 that he just threw up there. So kind of that muscle memory, living in that 5 and 6 ring.
Yeah, earlier today, Schizel had a couple of 3s against Bradshaw. He's looking much more consistent here.
Correct.
In his matchup against Brussell.
Well, another thing too, Joey, when you see a 5 or a 4 or a 6 on the board and everything like that, it's a solid number, but it's not really reflective of how close it was. Sometimes that 4 is so close to being a 5, or sometimes that 3 was just centimeters away from being a 3, and devastating drop there by Hannah Happy Feet Brussell.
Drop Hannah.
So as you can hear her say, she threw that with no power there, so nothing behind it. And that's got to be close to a bullseye there for Eric.
Bullseye. All right.
So a huge swing here for Eric Schizel. That gives him a 5-point lead over Brussell.
Wow. Yeah, so just a devastating drop. I mean, anytime you're playing a competitor the caliber of Eric Schizel, no matter what hand he's throwing with, you can't have a drop. And just like she was talking about earlier in her interview, she's got to have a short memory with this. She's got to be able to put some consistent points on the board.
So the first half of this one is in the books. Eric Schizel will bring a 5-point lead into the second half.
So even with the drop, it's still just a 5-point game, so very manageable for Hannah to get back in this thing, but she can't go back and trade points, though, with Eric the Scope. She's got to start getting in that 5 and 6 ring that she was used to in her first matchup with Beth Jenn.
As she had a couple of bullseyes against Jenn, she's going to need a couple of bullseyes or some 5s to get back into this one.
Looks like a 4 there.
5 and 5.
No, 5. So the bottom part of that blade popping through there for Hannah Happy Feet.
So they trade points once again. Just 3 throws to go. Still a 5-point lead for Eric Schizel.
So then, for Hannah, it's just really important to focus on that board. She's got to forget about that drop.
4 Hannah, 5 Eric.
Ooh.
Well, Hannah just misses a 5, and Schizel just gets a 5. So that's a big swing there to give him a 6-point lead with just 2 throws to go.
Yeah, and just Eric doing a great job of throwing up consistent 5s and 4s, really, eliminating that 3 from his game here and doing a good job of throwing with his left hand.
Ooh, bullseye Hannah.
Great throw there by Hannah.
3 Eric.
And, of course, the announcer's jinx is always real, Joey, right?
Right on cue. After you praise Schizel for his consistency, he throws the 3. Brussell throws a bullseye just like that. It's a 3-point game.
Just like that.
Anything can happen here now on the final throw.
Yep, we got a ball game here. So Eric, of course, just threw a 3. Definitely possible for him to do it again. Hannah's got to throw a bullseye just to tie it up here, but just
Hannah focusing in now.
Intense focus there. Very close. But I don't think it's going to get the job done, Joey.
Hannah.
So it's a 4 for Schizel,
right,
a
good
5
game,
for
42,
Brussell,
Hannah,
who comes up just a
44,
little short. Eric Schizel gets the win, 44-42.
Yeah, so Hannah doing a nice job to come back there, kind of make this a game towards the 9th and 10th throw, but just not enough to overcome that drop that she had in the 4th throw. And just a nice job by Eric to really kind of overcome his first initial match that he had, throwing up many more consistent 5s, 4s, and he's trying to find that bullseye ring like everybody is.
Indeed. Eric Schizel getting a little better here in his second matchup of the day with his left hand. We've talked so much about how in this league just one mistake can be crucial.
Correct.
That's exactly what happened here for Hannah Brussell.
Yep, both players going to 6 and 4, so very evenly matched competitors, and sure a matchup we'll see down the line.
All right, we've got much more action still to come here on Battle Axe. Stay tuned here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here on MC22. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. It's been an exciting week number 3 of action, Bobby.
It's been some great matchups here. We've seen a lot of close matchups here, some devastating drops here for a couple players. So something they got to eliminate coming into tournament time.
Still a couple more matches to go. Hannah Happy Feet Brussell taking on Cody Yoakum. Hannah, one of those players who had a devastating drop that likely cost her the matchup against Eric Schizel just moments ago.
Yeah, Cody coming away with a 43-41 victory over Stephanie Prine in his first matchup, but and Hannah just starting off with a 0. Not what she wanted to do, Joey.
That's exactly where she had the drop earlier.
That's true.
Same side, and she starts this one with a drop. She's going to have to dig in and have a short memory.
Well, what I was saying before Hannah's drop there is that Cody had the victory 43-41 over Stephanie, but Hannah has thrown up scores of 44 and 42. So
Bullseye, Hannah.
even with the drop, Hannah should be in this
Poor
game.
Cody.
And a nice response there with the bullseye, so making it quickly a 2-point game going into the 3rd throw.
Just what she needed. Cody Yoakum, he struggled a little bit earlier today. We'll see if he can get more into rhythm, get more of those 5s and 6s that he's accustomed to getting.
Really nice throw there by Hannah. Looks like a 5.
Poor Cody. 5, Hannah.
And it's one thing that Hannah's kind of realized when she's dropped both those axes before. She knows exactly what the problem is. So a quick remedy, doing a nice job of putting up some positive points and getting back into this game.
Yeah, really impressive response here from Hannah Brussell after the drop on the first throw.
4, Hannah. 5,
Nice
Cody.
throw there by Cody. Very close to a bullseye. But yeah, so again, she was just not getting enough
All right,
oomph on the
fifth
throw,
throw, Cody is
and
up by 2.
when that happens, that drop can be right around the corner. So Hannah just focusing up here. Looks like a 4.
4, Hannah. 4,
A
Cody.
4 there for Cody. So both players throwing up a consistent 4 going into the turn.
So Hannah Brussell still right within striking distance after the first half of this one. Cody Yoakum takes a 21-19 lead into the second half.
Ooh, a nice throw. Looks like a bullseye there for Hannah.
5, Cody.
And it's a 5, so on the left-hand side of that axe there for Cody, it looks like it was popping through on the blade. And for Hannah, the bottom part of that blade popping through on the red bullseye there. So a nice job to make this thing a 1-point game, even with that drop on the first throw.
Her second bullseye of the match. She's right in this one.
Looks like a 4 there for Cody and a
4 and 4.
4 there for Hannah, so trading some points going into the 8th throw. Got a heavyweight matchup here, Joey.
Brussell and Yoakum giving them all they can handle.
Yep, so again, for Cody in this position, he's got to put up some positive points. I mean, he'd be happy to trade points, but with a 1-point lead, he can't feel too comfortable, right?
Just 2 throws to go, and no, indeed, he can't feel too comfortable the way Hannah Brussell's been throwing. She's more than capable of throwing those big bullseyes.
Yep, but again, that's where you have to block out your opponent. You just have to focus on that board and make your throws that you can make. And, Hannah's dancing dangerously close to a 3, and Cody looks like he put up a nice bullseye there. So it is ruled a 4 there, but dangerously close to that 3.
So that extends the lead to 3 for Cody Yoakum.
So we've seen Cody throw an occasional 3. Obviously, we saw him have a drop earlier in the game, so Hannah's definitely got a chance in this one. Nice throw there. Looks like a 5.
Bullseye,
It could be a
Hannah.
bullseye. And it is ruled a bullseye, so unfortunately for Hannah, she can't overcome the deficit, but nice showing.
Well, Hannah Brussell comes up just short once again, but she really fought her way back in this one. She got within a point a couple of times, but just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah, the tail of the tape really, Joey, lies in that first throw there. I mean, with the 0 on the board, Hannah did an impressive job to work back and make this thing a 2-point game. But, yeah, if she puts any points on the board, this is a completely different outcome for sure. So Cody improves to 7-3, and Hannah falls to 6-5, but 2 competitors that'll be really fun to watch.
Absolutely. Hannah Brussell, outside of that fall, a really impressive round when you look at her scores. Cody Yoakum just a little bit better in this one. We've got one more match still to go. It's a good one. Casey Laser Wolf Nines against Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. 2 of the old guards of this league going head-to-head.
Yep, we just had a heavyweight matchup between Hannah and Cody, and we're set for another heavyweight matchup in our finale here between Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw and Casey Laser Wolf Nines.
We are underway. Nice start for Laser Wolf. We'll see how Bradshaw answers.
Yeah, you can see that 5 is popping through there a little bit on the right-hand side for the axe of Laser Wolf there. So trading a couple 5s to start the match off. Shouldn't come as any surprise, Joey.
And these are guys who have been around since the very beginning of this league. Matt Bradshaw, of course, the champion in season number 1. Laser Wolf, he's been so close, still looking for that first championship.
Absolutely. Casey's still searching. Maybe he was just waiting for that title to be unveiled so he can finally take that home. But a 4 there, just missing the 5 there by a little bit. So a 1-point lead for Matt going into the 3rd throw. And as we've said before in episodes past, Joey, when you get players of this caliber, those 4s are the mistakes. They're focusing on 5s and 6s. As you can see, Casey just peppering in a bullseye.
5 Matt, bullseye Casey.
So just like that, we're all tied up at 15 after 3 throws.
Yep. So Matt with some consistent 5s. He's peppering in those 5s. They're getting really close to the bullseye there. So as we said kind of earlier on, Joey, the 4s can be very close to 5s. The 5s can be very close to 4s. And, you can swing either way. And a nice throw there by Casey and a nice throw there by Matt as well.
High fives for Bradshaw and 9s. It wouldn't be too long before Bradshaw would throw a bull.
Very cute.
Well, as you can see, there's the competitive camaraderie here in this league. So everyone wants to put up impressive points and come out the victor, but they're always rooting on their opponent as well. Ooh, and off the mark there is Casey Laser Wolf 9s.
4 Casey, 5 Matt.
Fortunate that wasn't a bullseye there for the Magic Man, so he's got a 1-point lead going into the 6th throw here, going into the turn.
A good first half of this one, as expected.
Yep, a 1-point match, a nail biter going into the 6th throw. Ooh, some balancing act there for Casey. Lucky because if he goes over that line before the score is called, that is a foot fault and counts as 0, Joey.
Yeah, you could see it in his eyes. He was
very close,
a little rattled and confused.
Yeah, we've seen some players just accidentally, they trip over the line, basically. So they negate their points that way. So lucky that he was able to keep his balance and a nice throw there. Could be a bullseye there on the bottom part of that axe.
Bullseye Casey. Bullseye Matt.
Ooh. It's got to be devastating, Joey, to have such a great throw like that for Casey, and then Matt just answers right away, unable to capitalize.
That's what makes Matt the Magic Man so good. It doesn't seem to matter what his opposition does. He's always going to do what he does.
Right. It's a very rare thing to see, Matt give up points.
Casey.
It's one of those things that you almost have to have the lead to start. You have to, come out, get some kind of lead, and then just match points. You can't expect the Magic Man to make a mistake for you to come back in the game. That's just not something he does.
He's got a 2-point lead with 2 throws to go. Casey needs a bullseye.
Looks like a 5 there, popping through on the bottom side of that axe there. And Matt, just as we said, Joey, there's no let up. There's no let up at all with Matt the Magic Man.
Matt. It's so close. It's like a
He
sliver.
just missed the bullseye. He can't believe it. He's going to get a closer look.
Oh, I thought that was a flush bullseye from the get-go.
Yeah.
And looks like he's going to actually call and challenge us a little bit, Joey.
Jenny's going to come in and get a closer look.
With the lights here back at the Battle Axe Thunderdome here, it's tough to see, but it is ruled a 5.
Last throw, Matt is up by 2.
And so There's still room for Casey. Obviously, a 4 for Matt the Magic Man and a bullseye for Casey would send this thing into sudden death overtime. Oh, and a nice...
Bullseye,
Casey did his job.
And Matt did his.
5 Matt.
A dagger.
Wow.
Nines throws a
That was a really
bullseye,
close
but
game.
comes up 1
51
point
Casey,
short. What a
52
match this
Matt.
was.
Just a tremendous matchup.
Well, what a way to wrap up week number 3 of action. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw winning a thriller over Casey Laserwolf Nines.
Yeah, just a tremendous matchup by both competitors. I mean, anytime you can throw up scores in the 50s, I mean, you're doing a tremendous job. But as you can see there with Matt the Magic Man, just no 4s in this entire match, and Casey only had a few 4s there, so those were the definite determining factors in this matchup here. But Matt, in his pursuit of perfection, goes to 11-0. Casey goes to 7-2, and definitely a matchup I'm sure we'll see down the road here, Joey.
Yeah, and ultimately consistency is what won this one for Bradshaw. Nines had a couple more bullseyes than Bradshaw, but nothing but 5s and bullseyes for Bradshaw to get the win. That's going to do it for week number 3, but time now for our post-game wrap-up. Well, Matt, the Magic Man Bradshaw, was the leader coming into week 3, and no surprise he's the leader heading into week number 4 as well. Bradshaw now a perfect 12-0. Behind Bradshaw in the standings, it's Casey Laserwolf Nines, Cody Yoakum, Brandon Feenstra, Eric Schizel, Hannah Brussell, Everett Schuer, Stephanie Prine, Nancy Kramer, and Beth Jenn, Bobby.
Yeah, that middle of the pack's really going to be interesting, Joey, to watch as the league progresses and come tournament time because, everyone's just kind of bunched together and really anyone can beat anybody at any point in time.
Can't wait for it. That's going to do it here for week 3 on Battle Axe. For Bobby the Blade Bradford, I'm Joey the Jaw, signing off from the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. Thanks for watching.